Hey guys, Glade1359 here, bringing you guys a Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War beta video. Man, that was a mouthful. Today is the start of the second weekend for the Cold War beta, which means there are going to be a lot more people on this weekend than in the first. So hopefully this video is at least helpful to some of you guys. Today what I'm going to be covering is the level and weapon progression and give you guys the domination spots on the maps we have seen so far. I have only played in the 6v6 modes, really. I have not done the cross-arms domination and all that stuff. The maps are too big for me to feel comfortable with, so I am just going to be breaking down these 6v6 maps. But I'm not going to be breaking down the maps in the game. I'm only going to be showing you guys the mini maps, just because Treyarch has already fixed some maps from alpha to the first beta, and they still definitely can change the maps from the beta to the actual release of the game. So we are going to wait until the release of the game before breaking down the maps. And with that all being said, let's get on with the video. So starting with level progression, in the first beta we were only able to view up until level 40, which makes sense if Treyarch wants to keep some stuff hidden for the release of the game, and it also follows the pattern in which we saw with Treyarch in Black Ops 4 as well. The first weekend the level cap was level 25, so it should be no surprise if the level cap for weekend 2 is that 40th level. Once you get the create a class unlock at level 4, you get one of every type of gun to choose from for a basic class setup. Treyarch has moved away from the pick 10 system for this Call of Duty, which matches more of what we got in Modern Warfare as well as how it was in Black Ops 1. But more of that when we get into class setups. Level 6 gives you the ability to equip a stim shot in the tactical equipment spot. However, like in Modern Warfare, it is not necessary to have, but definitely helpful to instantly start healing. I always make sure to have one because I die a lot. Level 9 unlocks the first wildcard you can choose from. These are insanely powerful in Cold War. The first one you get is Danger Close, which is 2 nades, or the ability to carry 2 nades. The trophy system isn't unlocked until level 15, so if a lot of people are running that Danger Close, be careful out there. Anyone who plays the point, the trophy system is so much more necessary in Cold War than any other Call of Duty, I feel like. Some of my trophy systems have blocked 5 to 10 grenades before getting destroyed, and with war machines unlocked at level 20 for score streaks, trophy systems are a great way to shut them down. The Lawbreaker wildcard is a funky one. In Black Ops 4, there was an overkill and underkill wildcard. The Lawbreaker wildcard in Cold War combines the two, and you can decide whether to carry 2 primary guns or 2 secondary guns. A funky one I want to try out when the game releases is the pistol and knife. That seems like a great combo. And it also lets you decide the perks. You can have 3 perk 1s, or if you wanted 2 perk 1s and 1 perk 3, it doesn't make you pick just from one set of perks like in Black Ops 4. At level 27 you get the Gunfighter perk, which allows for one of every possible attachment on your gun at once. Level 29 unlocks Flak Jacket, which seems very necessary with how many grenades get thrown around, especially in Domination. I wish I had access to that in week 1. It was a ton of nades. Level 33 gives a huge buff to the decoy grenades as seen in Modern Warfare. The difference is in Cold War they give off footsteps instead of fake gunfire, which is so much more believable and it's just so much more powerful. And lastly, the Chopper Gunner is unlocked at level 39. It is such a powerful score streak. Go check out my alpha stream highlight for more on that one, however, but it is insane. Moving on to create a class, it's going to look a lot like Modern Warfare except more streamlined, like trying to change your class during a match in Modern Warfare. I think this is just a huge quality of life change coming from Modern Warfare to Cold War. All of the attachments are in one column, so you aren't looking all over your screen to see what you have on your gun. Now, I'm showing the MP5 I used during the entire first weekend of the beta. And the classes are built like any other Call of Duty. You get a primary, secondary weapon, a tactical, lethal, and field upgrade, your perks, and then a wild card. As far as I can tell, there is no level cap on guns right now, so if you really want attachments, you should just be able to grind for them. However, the MP5 was the highest level I got during the first weekend, and I only got it to level 18. Now, that doesn't really matter since we are in weekend 2, and if the level cap is level 40, most guns can only go to level 45-ish, so that level 40 weapon cap would not hinder your abilities too much. Like I said earlier in this video, there is no pick 10 system, so it looks almost identical to the Modern Warfare system we have seen for most of 2020. Also, the attachments unlock in a predictable way for Cold War. The first unlock is an optic, and then it'll work down to muzzles and down the rest of the possible attachments list until stocks. And then it'll go back up to the top, I'm going to say at muzzles, and then work down again until you hit the max weapon level. That's where it gets a little tricky because there are more optics than most other attachments. Optics are unlocked at a little bit of a higher frequency than the rest of the attachments. And here I show all of the attachments for the AK-47 just to give you guys a look at a gun that has not been worked on at all. Finally, what I think is the coolest part of Create a Class is if you press R2 on PS4 or RT on Xbox on any attachment that is not an optic, it gives you a much more in-depth breakdown on what that attachment actually does. Currently, I don't think mouse and keyboard players have access to this feature, which means it is either a bug or the feature might be going away after the beta. But while we have it, it is nice to see what is actually happening to the gun with comparable numbers. You can see the actual differences between each stock, each muzzle. The reason it isn't for the optics, however, though, is because these don't change much about the gun, is my best guess about it. It's a lot easier to compare the optics just kind of at their face value rather than, you know, muzzles that you don't exactly know what all it changes. Even though it tells you a percentage, this just gives much more comparable numbers to make it easier and to have the best gun you can. Finally, we have the Domination maps, which will be broken down more once the game releases, but here's a quick overview of all four. They are all unique and play very differently from each other. Starting with Cartel, the points are almost in a triangle, which leaves very little room for flanking around the B site undetected, but it is still possible. The main thing about Cartel is how green the B site is. It offers a ton of coverage and is very hard to see players just outside of the B site, but if you can control the middle, you should win the map. Next, in Miami, it is a very square map and my least favorite so far. B-site is a very exposed site from both sides, so it is very easy to snowball around if you are the first team to capture, but that might change in the future once the game releases if they decide to change the map at all, but good luck in that B-site. In Moscow Domination, the A-side attackers have a big advantage over the C-side attackers, because they have longer sight lines into the B site, in my opinion, and they spawn closer to the top of escalators, which if you control escalators, you pretty much control all of B site. So if you are attacking on that C side, really try to flip the spawns there because otherwise it's completely uphill battle. Finally, there is Satellite, which is a very open map, but topside heavy for Domination. The bottom of the map is generally a great spot for flanking if you can keep your head down, because there's always generally at least one sniper looking over those dunes, and in the valleys, as long as you're not jumping around, you can generally remain unseen. But yeah, just be careful out in the dunes. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for my week 1 Call of Duty Cold War beta breakdown. I think all of the important information to be able to have a better experience during the second weekend is in this video. It did take forever to make though, so if you liked it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Let me know what the most informative part for you down in the comments, or which part you enjoyed the most in this video. And with that, happy fragging for the second weekend of the beta, and I will see you in the next one.